Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and welcome to episode 96 of Direwolf20's Age of Engineering series. Today I am having a bit of fun. So last episode we wrapped up getting really close to having what we need to have. We need 7 more buckets of this stuff that we're going to need to do with the void here. So 7 more. It's coming along. It's taking its time. But we're getting there, and we will have a creative capacitor, or a creative fluid tank, at the end of this episode. While waiting for that to occur, I decided to start addressing some of the slower aspects, and that is not what I meant to do, glass, of the auto-crafting that we're doing for all this cool stuff. So some of them are slower than others. Specifically, I've got 2 kind of slower components to this. So Draconic Fusion is not the slowest issue that I've got, but there is one problem with Draconic Fusion, and that is sometimes fusion recipes overlap. And one of the things I'm crafting a lot of is the actually additions blocks here, the empowered guys, right? So if we took a look at empowered recipes, the cool thing though is that all the actually additions empowered recipes are 4 items specifically. It's always 4 items around it. This one is, 7 items, or sometimes 5 items, or sometimes 10 items, right? There's all different ones that Draconic uses, but the actually additions ones are always 4. So with that in mind, what I think I'm going to do is have a dedicated fusion crafter for the actually additions machines, right? So I'm going to just relocate some of this cool stuff. So I've already got item conduit set up. I've got some counting filters going on here. And what I think I'm going to do is pretty much transfer a lot of this stuff. Yeah. So we're going to want to basically get each of these guys and reallocate them in such a way that it makes more sense for what we do, right? And that should be pretty cool. And having them all on this dedicated line will probably lessen the chance of having an overlay. What usually happens is, so for example, green slime. So emeralds really is where things started to take a turn for the worse. I ran out of, or I think I didn't really run out of. I could put emeralds over here, but like, for example, if I'm auto-crafting the awakened dude, this thing, he overlaps with emeralds or coal because it'll put all the items it needs into the 4 slots here, and then it'll throw some awakens in. And even if I have this guy, because I do have him set up in blocking mode, what happens is he puts in the items for emerald, this chest is now empty, so then he puts in the items for awakened core. This chest is no longer empty because all the items are in the slots getting turned into empowered emerald, and then this chest is now, putting items in for awakens, and it gums up the works, and I have to come over here and manually fix it. So I think the best way to deal with that is probably just have a dedicated infusion crafting setup for this guy. So I've got you bound. Let's power. Cool. And then we're just going to set up like a little quick. So what I'm probably going to need here, let's see, how are you on channels? Oh, you've got an extra one. Nice. So I'm basically going to mirror what I've got here. So for that to work, we're going to need another interface. And there's another thing I want to speed up as well. And if you're looking at my inventory, you might have an idea of what it is. Hintity hint hint. Let's also get a crate, if I may, a small crate. I like crates because I can open them without, having an open ceiling. And then, cool. So where are you, Mr. Fusion Crafter? I'm assuming you're here-ish. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. All right, so let's connect you. So basically what you're gonna do is run to here, but we're gonna use this Yeta wrench to prevent these lines from connecting so that they're totally separate lines, right? And that should look pretty good to all of us. And then we can tap into this area just like so. Cool. And that's just a temporary vacuum. Nice. All right, so you will be inserting as well up there. So you're on insert mode with a counting filter, and you're going to be insert on green, extract on brown, always active. You will be insert on brown, just like that one is. So it's kind of like a mirrored setup, and you will be extract on green, always active. And then you guys will all be inserted on with a counting filter, right? So insert counting, insert counting, insert counting, insert counting. So let me get all the stuff that I need here. So for this, what I'm going to do is basically, so stone dust, coal coke, blue slime crystal, red garnet. So let's do this. Let's real quick request all the empowereds, but I'm going to disable the extract of this guy, right? So if we bring up the empowered crafter, right, this will just make my life a little bit easier because it'll have all this stuff in it already, right? So there's 6 empowereds, so I'm going to want to request them all. One of each. We're missing an ink sac. Of course we are, because that happens. Emerald and Inyori. Let me go get an ink sac real quick. All right, empowered void is in progress. So then I can take all this stuff and start filtering it, right? So you guys, I'm gonna want, and I'm gonna filter this all off camera, so we'll be right back. So you get 1 emerald. This guy on the insert. Oh, and let's not forget this. We need to hook up the redstoning bit to it. Nice. Cool. Okay, that looks good. All right, it's working. Nice. All right, back in a minute as I get the next set of recipes installed. All right, so the last recipe is going. So now what I'm going to do is take out all these empowered recipes here and put them in here. Easy peasy. And that should work. And I just want to make sure that you're also in blocking mode, because that'll also just kind of help. But it should be cool now, and we should have no more worries about overlapping recipes, at least with these ones at least. So that's cool. So that kind of speeds up our ability to craft some of the stuff that we need. Now the next thing that I want to speed up is, as you could probably guess, alloy smelteries, because we need a lot of alloys, like a lot. So I figured I'd load balance it across 32 instead of across 5. That probably will speed things up just a touch, right? So for that, I've got some capacitors that I cooked up. Hey, look, I've got 32, please. I did ask for 32, but I must have used 2 at some point along the line. So currently we've got 5 over there. I considered putting this over there in that room, but 32 is just not going to fit nicely in that room. So what I thought is, I've got this big open area. Why not just drop it right here? Like, this should be fine, right? So we could relatively easily tap, you know, 32 crafting components into this room. Pretty straightforward, right? So let's do that. So what I'm thinking is I want a line of 8. So how many across is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I really wanted you to be 8 in a line, but it's not going to look great in the room if I do that. It's going to look a little bit off. Oh well, too bad. 8 it is. Wish I could builder's wand with these things. That would be cool. You know what I could do? Well, no, because then it's still an even number. I was going to say it could be 8 tall and 4 across, but then it's still an, you know, even number. So that doesn't super work. Let's get a wyvern. Do you not know how to make wyvern wirelesses? Wyvern wireless energy relay. So you're going to need 2 eyes and 2 particle accelerators. That shouldn't be too bad to make, right? Yeah, not terrible. A couple diamonds, easy peasy. Okay, so if I want a wyvern wireless, you should now know how to make those. Cool. Please take care of that for me, because we're going to need some power going into these guys. So each of you gets a capacitor. 1. This is going to take a moment. I'll be right back. Alright, so let's get the wyvern energy crystal up and running. So you're here, Mr. Basic Energy Crystal, right? And you're doing just fine. Let's get Let's put you... Yeah, I shouldn't really be building with these, but... Okay. So you will bind this guy, who, by the way, has 32 links. Quite a nice number. Because that's how many we have to connect, right? 32 links for wireless power transfer, right? So one link... So we've got 8 links available to, like, other things, but you've got 32 links available for stuff like this, which is exactly how many we have. It's almost like, you know, this is working out perfectly for us. And I'm just going to, like, power the front of the machines, because it really doesn't matter if I power the front or the top or the back or the what, whoever cares. Cool. So you should all be getting power now. Sweet. I'm also going to go through and put these all on alloy mode, and I'm going to set the output to the back and the input to the back. So basically I'm going to go down the line off camera and do that. So 3 clicks on the back of the machine. Cool. So we'll be back in a minute. Oh, I'm also crafting a bunch more interfaces and some better crafting components, because I want to be able to, like, multi-craft this pretty well. All right, not so bad. Got it done. Cool. So that's all that completed. Are my interfaces done yet? We're getting there. We are getting there. Working on a lot more other things, but I'm crafting a lot of this stuff at the moment, so it's going to be a minute or two. Back in a sec. So we almost have the levity stuff. I just put enough in there for all but one. Oh, the last bit of levity is, or the last bit of Dew of the Void is cooking up. Nice. Cool, 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 cool. That is the very last one. Beautiful. Alright, so Dew of the Void is now completed, which means we drop this in, and now we are just waiting for this stuff to turn into Vapor of Levity. We're getting there, guys. We are super close. But back to this part. So we did that, and we've got these guys all configured. Are the interfaces close to done yet? Getting there. Getting there. Lots more logic process. I'm also crafting some 64K crafting units, which is taking up a lot of stuff, because I basically want to have a new crafting module that's going to be dedicated to building the big crafts like the Solar Tier 6. Alright, so got myself a bunch of anchors, because we're going to need that. Interfaces are almost done, like literally crafting the last component of it now. Right, so if we bring up interfaces, that actually should be done, because I only need 32 of them. Cool. Let's, so the way I want to do this is I want to convert these interfaces to be this form, and then we're going to run them all along back here, and we can use anchors to prevent them from connecting. Well, you know what, that's fine, you can stay. We'll put the cables down next. We just have to watch to make sure we don't do that. Why do I feel like I'm missing one? There it is. Okay. Cool. So with properly run cables, we should be able to keep these segregated. Because remember, we need to run lines of 32, so we'll probably have to run that down like the side or something. So maybe this thing needs to be bumped out a little bit like that one was. I did that off camera real quick, but it basically went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that gave me what I needed, right? So let's do this line of cabling first. Hopefully I can get under there. Ugh, that's gonna be a hassle. Maybe I don't, well, I could just, so here's what I could do. Instead of this, because this is gonna be a hassle to run this line, let's re-run this part. And hopefully this load balancing stuff works pretty well with this. I haven't tested it with 32, but I'm hopeful. Right? And then we can run like that, basically, is what I'm hoping to do. And then we can anchor here. And then run this line. And so they're not going to connect to each other. Right? And then anchor this line so that they don't connect to each other. And if we run this up to somewhere intelligent-ish, this should be no problem. I kind of, just for the sake of it. I know it's not perfect, but it'll do. Cool. So that should be online with 16 channels then? In theory? Yeah, perfect. 16. That's what I would want to see, right? So 8 going that way, 8 going that way. So you guys are already anchored up. So now we just need to do this. And then another line of anchors. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then the last line of this. And then we don't need anchors on the top of these, obviously. So that should be online with 32 now. Boom. I said boom. There we go. Better. Cool. So now we've got alloy smelteries for days. Now what also I did is I crafted a bunch of patterns. We have like a lot of them. What I'm going to do is make 32 more patterns of each type. So what I need to do is clear out my inventory of anything I don't really need, meaning all this stuff. You can come down here, you can come down here. I'll hang on to my nutrition module. I don't need you at the moment, and I don't need my key. I'm going to hang on to this because I don't want to forget about it, right? And that's going to be like 27 worth, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so 27's worth. I need 5 more inventory slots free if I want to fill up on the pattern. So let's just do, we'll put away our wrenches. We'll put away this. And it's that, right? So that's actually good, or nah, I could hang on to that guy. Right, so that's 27 and 4. So I do need to clear one more line. That'll be good. All right, so now what I'll do is I'll grab, for example, electrical steel, right? We're going to need 32 more electrical steel recipes, and these are all our alloy smelter recipes. So I'm going to grab this dude. I'm going to bring him up here. You know what? I could put away one more thing because I'm going to need the original recipe. I forgot, right? And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, and then for the original again. And then these all go in here like so. And this is just going to be a straight down line of all the alloy smeltery dudes that we've gotten here. Now there's a couple that are going to look like this. I think one of these might be over here too. I think one was always blank back there. We'll put our sword away for a minute. Because I basically, these guys, I want to kind of disable for a minute. Can I do that? I don't want them to actually interfere with anything I'm doing. And I don't want to mix up which one's which. So this one is this guy. So that'll be cool, right? So back to this, right? So what I'm going to want to see is basically a straight line of everything matching. Cool. That's what I want to see, right? And we just go straight down the line here. Now this is obviously going to take me a few minutes to populate, so I will be back once I've completed my task, which is going to be painfully manual, because I don't think there's any good way to automate this. It's just going to have to be sitting here clicking 30 times, 8 or 9. Alright guys, I think that's pretty good. The ones that I didn't encode a lot of were bronze, fused quartz, and dark steel. I don't think I need a lot of those for the solar recipe. So let me get my sword back here. The ender. Cool. And let me just put some of my stuff back. Laboratory blocks I like to usually have on me. Wrench. Draconic binder we might want to have. Calculator module so I can eat. My hunger points and dislocator. Cool, that's probably good enough for now. One other thing I might want to do, this wasn't working 100%, but it might be worth doing anyway, but making sure these are all in blocking mode. So let me go do that off camera real quick, because I didn't do this before I placed the wires, it's probably going to be a bit of a hassle. Though it didn't seem to make a difference on the other ones, so I don't know if it's really going to help, but we'll see what happens. Alright, so that should be cool. So let's see, can I request a tier 6 solar now? That would be nice. So to make that, we need more coal than we currently have. Okay, good to know. But a lot of the alloys we have to make are bronze, which I didn't set up, but you only need 180 of those, and that can be distributed up top. Though I might go ahead and do it just to be safe. We'll definitely need some more capacitors as well. But the main alloys that we need a lot of are the ones that we did set up. So we need 171 energetics, we need 333 electrical steel, we need 1,575 conductive iron. That's a crazy number. That's the one that usually takes the longest, and a handful of other ones that we already set up. So that all looks cool. Now for coal, what do we have for coal? So we do have coal ore coming in. Let's go to our mechanism room and make sure that coal ore is on the export bus here. I've been slowly but surely, as I need to, been adding ore types like coal and redstone and everything else to the enriching factory to get stuff. So that's been kind of a work in progress. You guys, by the way, should be done. Mr. 64 buckets of vapor of levity. That's what's up. Nice. Let's pick that guy up. This is the wrench from Neotech. Cool. Just making sure. Beautiful. So that is awesome. So capacitors we've got 2 of. Right? We've also got 1 capacitor over in our IC2 room, being this guy, that we can borrow. Excuse me for a moment. That I can convert back into a creative capacitor. And then up here, we've got 2 capacitors going on, which I can snag. Which I can convert into a creative capacitor. Cool, 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 cool. Now, if I'm not mistaken, we now have everything we need. So you need to be a quantum generator for these 2 parts. To create a creative fluid tank. That's what's up. Boom. And we got an achievement. All the liquids. Guys. Hey, you guys. How hype is that? We have a creative fluid tank. Now, I'm pretty sure I can place that in there and get an empty fluid tank. So check this out. Let's get like a bucket of UU matter, right? Like, let's go to the IC2 room. Let's get a bucket. Let's get... I want another do with a void bucket, by the way, so start kicking that off. Let's get a tank that's like nice and empty or something. Like, you should be a nice empty tank. As long as we get 1 bucket's worth, we're good. So we should 100% be cool now with UU matter, like for days. We have unlimited UU matter at this point. So what I'm going to test is putting this in here, get our bucket of UU matter. I don't even care about that 100 millibuckets that's in there. You're voided. Boom. I'm going to put... Now I'm assuming this thing can't like auto empty into nearby tanks or anything. But what I can do is just do that, and then we can do this, and I'm going to configure you to push down, and let's get a conduit here. And in theory, whoops, not what I wanted to do. I guess you can't pick back up UU matter once it's in the world. Today I learned. Oh, that is cool. That is cool. On the up, extract always active, and on the east, insert. Guys. What is up? What is up? Now, I'm assuming I've got power under here, yes? Yes, of course I do. Because that's a thing that I would have. The back, I could totally tap into, though. Because what I'd like to have is some kind of chest that fills up with capacitors. And keeps it full-ish. So your speed is more limited by your power input than your anything else, right? Yeah. That is super cool, though, by the way. Look at that. So much UU matter. And then, once I've got enough of a specific liquid, I should be able to just break you. And that's an empty tank now. So cool. Breaking it with a drill empties it just like the other type. Right? So what I should do is keep this bucket of UU matter handy. And then I've got my Dew of the Void. So the next thing I'm going to obviously want to dupe a lot of is going to be in the Ender IO room. The Vapor of Levity. Right? So let's get a tank of that. So basically we're going to want lots of tanks, which I should just at some point have on autocraft. And that should be cool, right? And then we can put you in here. And the way I'm going to run this is Vapor of Levity. Needs what again? Pesiality and prescience. Grains, pesiality, which should be quick, and prescience, which should be quick. Right, so that shouldn't be hard at all to make. Cool. Crafting and scheduled. Stored. Done. Vibrant alloys in process. Done, done. And now you're making your prescient crystal. You can hear it spinning above me. Cool. Grains and grains. Cool. So I'm totally going to want to get a bucket's worth of this because we're going to need a lot of it, right? So basically what I'm going to do is get 1 bucket's worth and always keep a bucket's worth of all the different liquids that I want to have lots of. And then whenever I need more, it's as simple of a matter. So if I did that, for example, boom. Now I've got an unlimited amount of short mead. Cool. And then I break you, and you're good to go. Right, so there's short mead. Let's do my IC2 room. I'm going to want distilled water, so let's get a lapis dust. Yeah, I meant to grab a dust, but it's all good. Cool. IC2 coolant bucket. We get a tank of that. Let's get another conduit. Cool. So now we've got a bucket of IC2 coolant, which I can have now unlimited of whenever I want, right? So we've got short mead, we've got coolant. I could make that hot coolant, by the way, all day long if I really wanted to. Back to the Ender IO area. So having a bucket of every type of liquid I might want at some point should be cool for me. Am I not in the right area? Cool. Yeah, there, that's what I was looking for. Nice. So now we've got a bucket of that type, right? Got lost in my own museum once. Bad times. So all the buckets that we need, right? So to make this, let's just refresh exactly what I needed to get the creative tank. Was biodiesel, levity, empowered oil, IC2 hot coolant, short mead, right? So biodiesel should be easy. Can I just like click you or something? I can just do this, I believe. There's your biodiesel bucket, right? So going forward, we have unlimited biodiesel. Old base. Going forward, we have unlimited empowered oil. Cool. So these are all the liquids we may at some point want an unlimited amount of. That is neat. Hey, can I autocraft a solar panel yet? Oh, and by the way, you know what else I'd love to have? The powered up due to this, so I can recharge this guy. Cool. So let's try crafting our solar tier 6. So we do still have one, by the way, creative capacitor. It's powering my orb right now, but we can always throw it back, you know, anywhere we want. So if I requested a solar tier 6, that should be doable now. And we should have some form of distribution going on in here. So all these guys should light up. How cool is that? And they actually seem to be fulfilling the laws of, you know, keep it balanced. To a degree. That's neat. What I might also want to do, because I already removed you guys, right? And you might be the reason that I'm having some hokery. So let's change you. Push, pull, nothing. Push, pull, nothing. Push, pull, nothing. Push, pull, nothing. I'm wondering if having two things on the same machine was part of the reason I was having weirdness. So let's just remove these all back here. Let's get a magnet to help. Sorry, I know it's loud. This might help a little bit. Cool. So are you guys going to behave a little better now? So bronze is obviously going to be made over here. What I might do is, so there's two electrum and stainless steel ingots that you don't know how to make. I might just put these over here in replacement of, say, fused quartz and dark steel, right? So this one will be the only thing that makes electrum and stainless steel ingots, which is a rare enough craft that I'm not going to worry too much about that. And then we can reset these dudes. So is everybody, like, behaving now? Because that would be cool. Look at that. That is nice. Crafting 32 of those things at a time. Pretty slick. I like it. So we'll be back in a minute when this is done. I'm just going to kind of keep an eye on how this runs. I think part of it might be we want more coprocessors. I did ask for 10 more crafting coprocessors. I bet the reason these aren't going nuts is because it's currently like crafting multiple things at a time. And we might be limited by the number of coprocessors, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things are going right now. So let's get more coprocessors. Would that be like an unrealistic ask? No, that seems pretty cheap. And what I'll do is in my immersive room in the basement where I've got my... No, it's not the immersive room. It's this room. So this is the one currently that has enough 64K crafting units on it to complete the request. What I want to do is have another cable line coming down here that's going to be like a special crafting thing, multi-block. And this is the one that I'm going to want to use whenever we craft like solars, for example. And this is going to be a bigger multi-block cube. I should have some 64Ks. I've got 2, and I'm going to borrow these 2. So these will all be like smaller crafts, but like the big crafts, like this one, we're going to want to have be a little bit crazier shenaniganry. So for that, we're going to basically want to do this. Remember, it does have to be in a cube shape. So that should be good for now. And I'm going to boost that up a little bit. Let me wait for this solar to complete, and we'll be back in a minute. It is pretty cool seeing all these things kick on as needed. That's nifty. See, look, it did the thing again. It didn't care about... I mean, it'll evenly distribute more than it was, at least, but this bothers me when this happens. It's just like, dude, really? Come on. You're in blocking mode. Like, this one's in blocking mode. I know he is. Why are you being a misbehavior? It might be because we don't have enough coprocessors on it. I don't know if that's the case. That could be the reason. So that's why I'm building the multi-block with, like, a bunch of coprocessors, right? Like, we've got 20 more coming. So I'm going to have a multi-block with like 30 coprocessors on it, and we'll see if that makes it evenly distribute better. Actually, we're getting pretty close to the wrapping up point of the episode, so let's do this. Let's wrap up here. Between episodes, I'm going to finish that multi-block, and then we'll come back next episode and see if having 30 coprocessors on one multi-block helps with this problem, which is that it keeps throwing just as much redstone and iron in there as it wants, making Dyer an unhappy camper. So for now, Darrell20 signing off. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. We will come back next time, and we will work towards more creative capacity. So we've got this now, right? So there's 2 more tasks that we're going to want to complete if we want to complete the pack, which is, creative vending upgrades, right? So we completed a creative fluid tank. Making another creative fluid tank is as simple as making 4 more capacitor banks, because these things are now unlimited, so we don't have to make 64 more buckets of any of these things. We just get 1 bucket's worth, and we're good to go. We will come back next episode, and we will work probably towards maybe some of the items that need to go into the basic bins, and these guys. Recipe needs filled gas tanks despite JEI disagreeing. Look in the guide for the gases needed. So let's look up real quick in the guide what the Age of Engineering creative thing says. Must be filled with osmium slurry and hydrogen chloride, sodium, and ethylene, and DT fuel. Use the gauge dropper. Okay, cool. All right. So I don't know what any of those are, but it sounds like something that's going to be fun to go ahead and set up. So that's how we get creative gas tanks. We need this, 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 and this. So we need 5 different gases, in much the same way we needed 5 different liquids to get creative. So it looks like we're going to be doing a bunch more with mechanism soon. And some creative energy cubes, obviously, to get creative gas tanks going. So for now, Daryl20 signing off. Take it easy.